maybe step up to the side just a little bit.
Larry, how does Kenyatta's skill set complement what Jack and JT bring on the edge?
They all have the same tree. They're working hard, working the hands, the same development skill set that we work on. And so KJ is kind of picking that up, doing a really good job.
It looks like Mike Hall's actually trimmed down even more. He was already a little bit undersized, but very effective. Is that something you wanted him to do? Is trim down?
He's
even
about
more?
275. I'd like to get him to 80, 85, but he's where we want him. He's at 275. He's lean, but he's 275. Yeah.
Describe his game a little bit. He just seems like it's so disruptive in there. Even though he's not a big
Explosive, quick, good instincts, all the things you want to see from a guy to play inside. Yeah, so he's done a good job of doing that.
JT described, he said Mike is kind of the heart of the defensive line, but he's willing to speak his mind. How have you seen him kind of step up in the leadership role during this game?
I don't know where his speak his mind is. I think he leads by example sometimes. He goes really hard in practice. And I think that's the drill for Mike. They get a chance to go hard and kids see that and appreciate that. I think that's more than anything else, speaking his mind.
Larry, Ty, obviously Devon Hamilton late in his career had, kind of a late career surge. Do you feel like Ty has the potential to do the same thing?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think they're both different. One thing they're in common, very strong. Ty is very strong, very smart, understand the game very well. And so I think they're the comparison of the two of them. They're both great hard working guys. And Ty is the same way. So I'm glad to see where he's at.
What is it about Ty that's really kind of made him a staple for this defensive line dating back to last season?
Just a growth. Just a growth going from 260 walking into high school to 90, much stronger, understand the defensive scheme, really great leadership skills, outstanding student in the classroom. So all those things tie in to being a really great leader. And he's very vocal about when guys listen to him. Yeah.
What stands out about Tyleek Williams, and how is he better maybe than he was last year, even as a freshman?
It's a process, right? Everything goes through a process. You're never going to be what you want to be. You start out until you continue to go through the process. And so Tyleek is going through the process, growing how to play the game at a faster pace, and kind of like where he's at right now. To be honest with you, we just got to see how it continue to grow from there.
Coach,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
What is the challenge for Mike Hall this year? What do you? Obviously, you want to see him play as much as possible. But how have you challenged him? I guess.
I think the biggest challenge all is everybody can stay healthy.
Yeah.
That's the biggest challenge, right? If he stays healthy and do all the things we ask him to do, he's got a chance to do some real things to help our defense.
Where is he improved in your mind from what you see on video after practice now compared to a year ago?
I think he's in better shape. I think he's in great shape. He missed some games last season, a few games.
Yeah.
I think he's in best shape he's ever been in. Running to the ball, those kind of things you'd like to see from a guy who has that kind of explosiveness.
Yeah, you remember the whole alpha dog thing way back mid-season.
Yes,
stuff.
sir.
Has he taken that bit from the standpoint of you never know where you're going to get hurt, but the healthy aspect of just being there, the availability aspect of it, is he taking the bit on that?
I think so. I don't think you say he's alpha dog. I think they're, when you run in a pack, it's more of a unit, right? I think that's the most thing, really, to sing a guy out. I think the biggest thing we challenge our guy is to really just, let's be part of a pack. Let's be part of a unit that does everything special, and I think that's the key. And we're trying not to say that guy's did this skill and got this skill. How about put all those skills together and go play as a unit and try to become the best unit in college football?
When you say Jack, JT, and KJ are all from the same tree, can you elaborate a little more on what the tree is, for lack of a better term?
The tree is pass rush, his hands, his hips, his feet, explosiveness, speed, all those things come together when you're looking for a guy, and recruit a guy. You hope you can find those things. KJ's been around as a freshman. He had a chance to sit back and watch guys develop, watch guys use their technique. Now, when you're around for a year, you get a chance to start doing it yourself. So I think that's what's happening. It's called development, and that's what's happening.
Now that Mitchell Milton's back and full strength, how's he looking?
It was good. No, it's good. Just got to watch his reps, keep him going. I think he's doing some good things right now. He's really working hard.
You said he's splitting his time between the jack and the defensive end. What goes into that decision for where he eventually will end up?
Well, because I don't know how much jack would use and how much defensive end. I think right now we train him as defensive end starting out, and that's where you see him playing. And if the jack becomes part of what he does, I think he can handle it very well, because that's something he did in the spring a little bit, trying to get ready for. So I think he'll be a good fit.
When you say you think he can handle it, what do you think?
Well, playing the jack is a different position, right? We all realize it's a different position than playing defensive end, and so if it means we substitute that guy in to do that position, we'll see. But it's too early to determine who's going to do this, who's going to do this. But he's been training at that position and in defensive end, so we got a bonus.
Larry, Coach Days suggested a couple times that he thought maybe you guys wouldn't rotate as much. I don't know if he's talking about JT or the ends or what. When you put together your plan, I know you always wanted to rotate as many guys as possible. Is that a different philosophy for you? What have those conversations been like?
When you say my philosophy is rotate all the guys, it's going to be based on the game, number of plays, things that involve in the game. You can't go into a game and play a guy 90 plays and try to play 16, 15 game schedule, hope he can survive. You can't do that. He'll burn out at the end. He'll look good in the beginning and burn out. And right now it's evaluation period, right? We just started. We're into last 2 weeks going for his first game. We don't know how many guys. Might play 5 guys, might play 6 guys. It really depends on how we develop and come along. That's what determines what we do. And so we'll have to wait and see. But certainly I like to see JT stay on the field. I like to see all those guys stay on the field all the time.
Yeah.
But at some point during the season, when those plays started counting up, all of a sudden now you got a guy with potential to get hurt because he plays so many plays.
Yeah.
So that's the thing you got to watch. You definitely want to play. If that's 60 plays, 65 plays, I think that's right. I think you look at the guys that played for the Joe Bosa, the Knicks, the Chase, they finished the season probably anywhere to 800 plays. But that's a different season.
Yeah.
The offenses are different now, so it's a whole different game set right now in how we play. We want to rotate, want to stay fresh. Yeah, maybe they'll play more plays this year, but that's going to be determined once we start the season.
Is it a matter of, because I know you have to play multiple guys to get through the 14, 15 games the way you want to. Is it more of a situational, evaluation? How do you think that would play?
Well, it really depends. In practice is why you determine how many guys can play full speed. That's what you do in practice, right? So we have these 4-period plays or a 6-play period. You want to see how long can a guy go. Can he go 12 plays full speed? That's the determination, how many plays that guy can actually play in the game. If he can play 15 plays full speed in practice, good chance he can play 15, 20 plays in the game. So my evaluation is every day in practice to grade a videotape and see exactly, are we playing fast? That guy's going to play fast and he can play in the game. So if he can't, then I can't substitute because I'm putting a slower player back on the field. And that's the evaluation process. We're too early to say this guy's going to do this, do that. But when we get closer to the game, I'll have a good idea because that's what I'm studying right now.
Larry, over the summer, when we first asked you about Taiwan, you were talking about him mostly about how he kind of enhanced the depth. As you look at what he's doing right now, has what you expect out of him changed for this season, the impact he could have?
I think he's going to have a great impact, but I think all those guys will. I think the thing about the inside guys, they're going to complement each other. They each have something different that I like. Everything brings something different to the table. That's what you want. Tylee is a part of that. And so he continue to grow like he's going now. And I hope they have great things for him.
Larry, how do Jack and JT complement each other as defensive ends?
It's hard to say you compare two guys. You say you compare one guy to the other. Our defense scheme is based on guys doing the same thing, to be honest with you, right? So those both guys, JT has got the same things Jack doing and vice versa. And so what we try to do is make sure their skill set fit the defensive scheme in the mid, rather than say who's got the better skill. Really just evaluation. This is the same skill set both set. We don't have a difference between that. And so it's hard to say where they are. They continue to grow into the defense, and I think that's the most important thing.
Larry, where does the freedom come in that approach?
What's that?
Where does the freedom come for a player in that approach to then do their own thing? Or do their thing that makes them special? You understand what I'm saying?
Doing our own thing is doing with technique and within the system, right? Because you have a guy could be a renegade, all of a sudden he takes a spin move, gets inside, the ball's outside, now we're in trouble, right? Trying to make a play. And so what we try to do is make sure to understand that we are a unit, and then a unit have to rush together, we have to stop the run together. That's the more important thing. And so that's the thing that we're selling right now more than anything else, that we can play as a unit, because that gives us a better chance to be really successful.
Play your responsibility.
That's it.
And Caden Curry, what do you see different out of him this preseason camp, maybe compared to a year ago? And how much progress has he made? It's a general question, but what do you see that's different about him?
He's heavier. He's 260-some pounds now.
Yeah.
He's much stronger. And what you expect from Caden Curry, what you saw in high school, you're starting to see it now. I'm just looking forward to see what happens as he goes through the season.
What does it mean to you that Taiwan Malone decided to transfer in from Ole Miss? If you understand what I'm saying, because y'all were looking at him before.
Yeah. So it's all about.
Is it welcome home? Is it I told you so? What's the message?
None of that.
Yeah.
None of that. He's a good kid, great family, great conversation with mom and dad. I think that was the biggest decision for mom and dad, and he felt comfortable here. And I thought he did when he first came, but he was really wanting to play baseball. He really wanted to play baseball. I think that was his decision. Now he wants to give and to play football. And we're happy to have him. He's a great fit for us. He's a great culture fit. Our guys love him. So you want a guy like that in your room. So I'm happy to see it.
Because of that background, where he had two dual sports, and again, you talked about that this summer, about you thought him focusing on one. But Donovan the other day was telling us how good his technique already is and how he can, he takes advantage of your bad technique, things like that. Is he more advanced in some of those finer details than you thought?
I don't think more advanced. I think the biggest thing with him is the fact that he played baseball so much. There are some issues that you have to get fixed. And I think that he came with a great attitude to learn rather than say, I have these skill sets, let me just do my thing. And I think that's the thing I like about Taiwan is that he's willing to learn and make himself better as a player. And we continue to do that. And that's what he's doing right now.
Do you know Omari having this procedure being out for the year, assuming out for the year?
I can't speak about his injury.
But just where does this leave him for, I guess, a long-term situation?
Yeah, I hope he returns. We don't know yet, but I hope he returns for the season as well. So that's our plan.
Larry Jack's had a chance to settle in as a defensive end as opposed to a Jack. How does he look so far? Can you sense that this could be a breakout year for him?
I know what you say, breakout. I think the thing about playing a Jack, playing again, it's two different positions. Jack is a defensive end. We thought we could make that happen, but I think he's more happy now. His hand in the ground, rushing from the end position. And Jack's done a good job of taking care of himself. He's got his body weight down, and he's really kind of trimmed, and now he's really doing some good things for us. And that's the thing I'm excited to see how the season goes.
Both JT and Jack talked about working on the first step this offseason. Do you think that was the biggest difference between almost sacks and sacks last year?
It could be a little bit of a combination of all the things. You know what I mean? I think when you talk about, when you talk about sacks, you're talking about a stat. You know what I mean? I'm talking about imagine having four guys to have the skill set to rush the quarterback, and no one cares who gets the credit, because now all of a sudden you have four guys have a major impact. JT, Jack, or KJ, no matter who they are, they're not as good unless playing inside guys are pretty good inside rushing. So it's a combination of both. So we don't look at stats, but we look at the unit stats. What are we doing as a unit? Are we applying pressure? Are we getting there? And I think that's what we have to wait and see how it goes, right? To say one guy's this guy, one guy's that guy. It can all change. They could triple team JT, he would never get a sack the whole season, right? Is he a bad player? No. It's just a scheme, right? And so you got to have that guy or that guy or that guy that can change the game. Because you can't double team everybody. So somebody's going to run a face. So we're really, and to be honest with you, I don't mean sound like I'm not saying anything, but I just really want the concept to be, we want four guys, a unit, playing together as hard as we can, stop the run, and then have an opportunity to rush the passer, if that makes sense. That's our goal. That's our goal every year. This is our goal even more this year, that we feel like if we can stop the run, we'll have a chance to rush the passer. And so when that opportunity avails itself, then we should be ready to go. But we can't do that until we make the team one-dimensional, right? So we would stop the run and throw the ball, and that's what we want to do.
What are your thoughts of Arvell Reese so far as a defensive end in this experiment?
I like him. He's smart. He's intelligent. He's got some good skill set. He's in the development stage. He's never done it before. He's in high school, just learning to rush and play linebacker. But I kind of like where he's at right now. It's all new to him. So he's going through the process right now.
Do you think he stays there long term?
I don't know. It's going to be up to him. It's going to be his decision. Coach David made it very clear. It's up to him what he wants to do, stay or go back. So we'll see how it goes.
Last question. With JT in his first step, what have you seen from that that makes it look better?
What's that now?
With JT's first step, like what from your eye, what looks better about it? Faster?
Yeah, it's faster. First step is faster. Yeah, so faster you get, but it's faster. Yeah, I think that's just one of his things that he does really well. He can take off.
What did he do with that?
It's all about balance and flexibility. All those things go into it, right? And then understand your place on your foot, where you got to get it at. I think he's done a good job understanding that. And so hopefully we can see some great things.
Can you put a stopwatch on that? I mean,
no, you can't put a stopwatch.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Have you seen it on video?
Yeah.
I mean, how does it show up?
It's called freeze, pause, practice, and watch every step every player take to make sure he's not taking a shorter step, a wide step. It's got to be efficient in your first step. It's like anything else, right? You put a car in rear and you want to go forward, you know what's going to happen, right? So what we're trying to do in our evaluation, every play that we watch, we pause it to watch every step to make sure it's correct. And once we can fix those steps and get him to understand that he's got a cross line in the first step, then you start developing. So it's not something we just guess, okay, we're going to fix this step. We have to have a reason why we fix this step. He has to be able to see it on videotape to do that.
How much time are y'all spending on the jack now?
Excuse me?
On the jack position, how much time are y'all spending on the jack? And who takes over when the jack is in discussion?
I have no idea. I just go coach my guys, man. I have no idea.
So you're not coaching the jack?
I know the jack could be a linebacker.
I know.
So who knows? Who knows? So.
Thanks, Larry.